Good morning and welcome to the IFMA Social Media Academy. It's been a couple of years since we've talked about this, and I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Pete Van Cleve with Water for Life. We have Ira Gorlick from G4 Green Connections, who is our generalist and will be able to answer all the questions that the rest of us can't answer. I'd like to kick this off by starting off with Ira, who gave a presentation to our organization a couple of years ago and is back to impart some more wisdom. And so, Ira.
Okay. Well, thank you and good morning. Just to let you know what Green Connections, G4 Green Connections means, we are dedicated to building better connections between people, communication. So the key to any communication, and this is the key to any communication, whether it be social media or whether it be between you and your kids or you and your spouse or you and your boss, the first question you have to ask is, what is the intent? What am I trying to accomplish? Many people go into any communication event with no clear idea of what they want to accomplish with that intent. And so they end up talking without knowing when they've accomplished what they've when they've accomplished what they've wanted. So when we talk about social media, we need to be thinking about what is our intent with our social media? What are we trying to accomplish? Yesterday, I don't know if anybody follows sports, but Colin Kaepernick, a quarterback for the San Francisco Giants, got into a lot of trouble on Twitter because he tweeted something and somebody else tweeted something back, and then he went off on a rant. And so at some point, I'm watching the story and I'm thinking to myself, what was his intent? What was he thinking he wanted to accomplish with that intent? So I've listed, in terms of social media, what is your intent? And education could be an intent. Let's say you want to educate your audience as to some new thing or something has happened. Or sales could be your intent. I want to sell something. Education is a different communication event than a sales event, right? Or what are some others? Feedback, looking for feedback. Sales intent is you're trying to get somebody to do something, and feedback, you're trying to get them to give you information. So education, you're communicating. Feedback, you're looking for communication. And recognize that in any communication event, those are two different things, right? When you're in a meeting and somebody is talking, how many times do you feel that they're talking with no intent to listen? They'll say, you're smiling because, they'll say, or you get an email. My favorite one is, why did you do something? The intent is not to ask you why they did it. Their intent is to tell you you did it wrong, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to be very clear when you communicate. What is your intent? If your intent is to ask why you bought my product, then ask the question, and if they say because it's Thursday or because of XYZ, say okay. What is it? Product announcements, a great opportunity for social media. I have a new product. Here's a new product. Event announcements, brand development. My point is, you need a clear intent. The next slide, please. So, in my humble opinion, all social media should be about brand strategy. Even as an individual, I think about Colin Kaepernick. He's selling a brand. What was his brand strategy in his communication? What's the best product that you could be selling? That was a rhetorical question. I'll tell you the answer. It's yourself, right? You are a brand as an individual. So if you're marketing yourself, I'm marketing my brand. So when you think about social media, you think about, how am I marketing my brand? When you think about your company, Trilogy, they're marketing a brand. How are they using their social media to market their brand? There was a guy in the 60s, which you'd ask your parents about, a guy named Marshall McLuhan, who wrote a statement that said, the medium is the message. The idea being is that it's not what you say, it's how you say it that carries the most weight. The channel you use, Facebook has a different brand awareness than Twitter or LinkedIn. Does that make sense? Okay, next page. Now I just used some examples here. This is my website. Here's my social media sites. Next one. Here's another one. Help us get the word out. Social media sites. Do another one. Here's another one. They have a whole section on social media. So as you put your brand strategy together, I would absolutely say social media is critical. But don't just do social media to do social media. Have a clear strategy as to what you're trying to accomplish in that social media. Next slide. This goes without saying. Whatever you do, you need to manage it. The biggest problem with people who use social media is they think being on social media is the end game. You're shaking your head no, right? It's not. If you're going to be on social media, you need to be out there all the time. You need to be active in social. If you choose a medium, if that's going to be your brand strategy, well, you need to be on it. Because people will get bored after 8 seconds, at least with Twitter. You know, if it's not top of the screen, it's gone. You know, I had somebody say to me the other day, "Oh, I put out a tweet, and now I'm worried." I was a political campaign. I said, this is like the next day, and I said, "It's gone. It's history. Forget about it. Put out another tweet. Put out another tweet." Right? Facebook post. Put out another Facebook post. It's immediate. It's now. It's different than anything before. All right. Finally. In summary then, 2 things to remember about social media. What is your intent? You need to sit back, think carefully. What am I trying to accomplish? And then once you have a clear idea of your intent, go out and actively do it. Say, okay, I'm going to be on there every day. I'm going to be on there every week. I'm going to be on there 3 times a day. I'm going to be asking for feedback now. Ask for feedback an hour and 2 hours. And then here's the other thing, just remember, when people post in response, reply to them. She's shaking her, you must be an expert there. You need to get that engagement. People, you know, the world of the sage on the stage is gone, where you just have somebody just preaching. No, it's no longer the sage on the stage, it's now the guide on the side. People want to be interacted with. People want to know that that you care about it. If somebody posts something and it's negative, well, you send them a tweet. Why was it negative? Can I call you up? Can I meet with you? Can I turn your negative into a positive? If somebody posts something positive, would you like to do something more positive? The goal is not being, the goal is doing. Thank you.